welcome back to PyA Hub. So far we have learned how to filter data and sort it. Now it's time to actually analyze data. So today we will learn aggregate functions like count, sum, average, minimum and maximum. So this function help us to summarize data, help us to count, help us to sum the whole data, all that. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, we change our location, then call our database DuckDB and the database name. And here we are using PyHub analytics.db. And as we know, we are following the same pattern. Like we start with select staff from students and show the fault table. Here also we start from that, select staff from and students colon semicolon, and we run this, we got the whole data. So the first thing, that's count. Count is used to count all the rows. Okay, so whether if there is null values, count just don't care about that. It just count all the rows simply. Okay, so it's just adding after the select. Okay, select, we use count, inside parentheses we place a star. This shows us counts all the rows in the table. Okay, and we place a from and students. Okay, so here you get how many rows in our table. So if there is null values, if some of the values is not filled, it don't care and it will just automatically count. That's how count used. We can also use count for specific columns. Now we done like we used a star. When we use star, when we want the whole thing, when we use star, select star from students, we got the whole number of rows and columns. When we use star inside count, we got all the number of rows are counted. Okay, so it all contains values. There is none values, though it still count 4. Now when we specifically need some column to be counted, if there are age and we need to count how many ages are in students column, we can do that. How? We can just use select count and place the age inside the count instead of the star, and we use from students. Okay, so this counts only rows where age is not null. Count column name ignores null values. When we use star, it count all the values, but when we specifically called a column, it just give all the values and ignore none. Okay, so it's an important concept for beginners, that's why I repeat it again. Now we are moving to sum. So how to use sum? Here we can use so many ages. We can use some in integer value places, integer columns. Okay, so just like count, we place sum, select sum, place a parenthesis, use the column name and add from where the student name, the table name, that's students here. Now we got the sum of age. So sum actually, as we know sum, what did sum do? It adds all the ages in the ages column and give the whole sum together. So if there are none values, all that none values are ignored and sum adds all age values together. So it's a sum of all these ages, that's 86. So as we see here, it's so simple. After select we use count, after select we use sum, and another thing, that's average. So as we know what average gives, let's do it. Select AVG, we use AVG here, and age, place a column name, that's age, and from where we are taking all this, from students, that's our table name. So we get 21.5. So as we know, average calculates the average age. It ignores all the null values automatically. Like average means we take the whole sum of the age and divide it by 4. Okay, That's how average is normally taken. Okay, and just like this we do minimum, maximum, all this. After the select we can use minimum and place the age inside it. That's our column name. From students, just like we do. Okay, the student name has some spelling mistakes. Okay, so we got the minimum age. Okay, here the minimum age is 20, and what if we use the maximum age? So we can just change it to max. We got the maximum age. So here the maximum age is 20 and the minimum age is 20 and the maximum age is 23. So minimum finds the smallest age and the maximum finds the largest. Okay, now we can combine it with were. So we done all this and we found it too simple. So what if it work with our workloads? That's where our conditions, we place our conditions in workloads. Okay, so let's select and use the average of age, then from students. Afterwards we provide the city where only the students from the city Mumbai. Okay, so we get 22. So here we combined aggregate function with filtering. This calculates average age only for the students in Mumbai. Okay, the only student in Mumbai is Meera. Her age is 22. So for a larger data set, we may get more number of rows and columns. So in that condition, this will help us a lot. So because it's a small data set and we are taking it as a learning scale, we are using this way. Okay, but when it comes to much more developed versions, it will be good and you will save lots of time. Okay, now we are using average age and we are placing it under a separate column. Okay, so we need to provide a rename output. That's like, let's do it and I will show you. So here we select average and place age, then s. So here we use s. So the average age should be given as average age. Okay, now it shows the average age should be placed into the average age column. It's a column name that is not yet in our table. So we are renaming the output. Okay, from students. So here we get the average age as in a different column. Like instead of just showing the average age like this by default, we are changing it to rename that. Here our s is used to rename the result column and we renamed our result column as average age. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So as a recap, today we learned about count. When we use star, it give all the columns, columns whether it's null or not, it don't care. But when we use count with a specific column name, it will count the values and ignore the null values. Okay, it won't count null values while we provide count in with a specific column name. And when it comes to age, some age, we get the total and average. It just give the average. Min and max, it give the minimum and the maximum values. That's minimum gives the smallest value and maximum gives the largest value. So these are called aggregated functions because they summarize data, they help to read data. So that's what we studied today. In the next episode we will learn group by, which let us calculate aggregates per category. So that's where real analysis begins. Okay, so I hope it's clear. I know It's a very small concept and it's easy to intake. Okay, and do it in your own way and call city instead of age and student id such a way. Okay, do differently, practice with this, and understand the concept. Just remember this aggregate, it's aggregate function. While someone is asked about aggregate function, you can call or you can say count some minimum maximum average, that are the aggregate function. Okay, so that's for today. And